All right. Welcome to the good life. We're live. Exactly. All right.
Woo!
So, episode number 24. And today we've got Chris, Kabi, myself, and we're here to talk about a combination of things today. So, we're going to go into branding and marketing, building more real estate in people's minds. And we're talking about real estate and the growth and kind of some patterns that Kabi's been checking out. And we'll toss around some different perspectives on that. So, fellas, how was everybody's week?
Good man. Good man.
Fantastic, bro. Fantastic intro, man. Killed it, bro.
You like
Pro.
that? You like that little segue
Pro.
I had there?
Pro.
Pro. Natural.
All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Like, where do we want to start here? Do we want to start with real estate of the mind or real estate of the land?
I mean,
Oh, God. Scoot. Hold on. Let's acknowledge this. Let's hold on a second, brother. What you been eating? What you been drinking, brother? What you been doing? Huh? You been meditating?
I actually
You been
know the
meditating?
answer. I've been back on my meditation. I have been going out, but also I've been. I'm telling you, that helps my vibe a lot, dude. I'm an extrovert to the core. But really, what's been going on is I've been having some more music conversations. I got a guy making a beat for me, so I'm doing a lot more practicing. Consequently, bars may slip out from time to time. So please
I freaking love it, dude. That's great.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I love it. For me, man, it's been staying consistent. As you guys know, I'm doing a little bit over a year long bodywork course, studying both Eastern bodywork and Western bodywork. So going everything from myofascial trigger point release to utilizing energy body work to restore balance in the body. So it's been amazing, actually. It's a lot of time, obviously, but that's what it is. And at the end of it, I'll be able to combine kind of my training weight wise in certain terms of in the weight room and movement, what I call movement, with my nutritional coaching and also with the eye and the hands that I develop out of this course, which would be fantastic as well. So pretty excited for that. That's what I've been one of the things I've been up to.
Continuing education, man. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. For me, every year I want to do at least one something on 3 levels of courses, at least one on each level.
Solid. I got my next the advanced landmark is next weekend, so appreciate you hooking me up with that.
Oh shoot! Yeah, hey, that's awesome,
yeah,
Chris.
man.
I gotta talk to you about that, brother. My apologies. I've been holding out.
you've been holding out. Yeah. Talk to me about that, man. All about personal growth, personal development, working things out. That's what it's about, right? Like that's kind of the things that we have to continue to do. Is that the group or something along those lines, Stu?
The
program?
landmark.
The landmark
Absolutely,
program.
yeah. Because Kabi introduced me to the landmark forum, and for everybody watching, that was an incredible experience. I was actually super hesitant. That was one of the first times I know you remember. You
Yeah,
looked me over on
I
it too.
loved it. I loved it. It took time, but I'm glad it kept you at least were open.
Yeah, man. I made some great connections in there, and I learned a couple things that I was able to implement in my practice. So, both personal and professional gain there. But yeah, the landmark forum, doing the advanced one, Chris, highly recommend this, my friend.
So absolutely, I'll definitely look into it. That just takes me down a completely different rabbit hole of like how important groups are and like getting around like-minded people. When we're on this journey, it's so incredibly important, right? It's so incredibly important. I got into another kind of like entrepreneurial group, part coaching group type of thing that is really exciting. Just getting a chance to meet new people. That's also been on my mind over the past week, right? Just getting a chance to meet new people, experience new conversations, get to know people's background. That type of stuff is super intriguing to me, right? It's just super intriguing. People are intriguing. I love people. Like I really do. Like just figuring out people and learning about them. I just think I think it's important, right? And I enjoy it. Hence why this marketing conversation is so big.
Woo!
Right?
Way to
Don't
tie
pay
it
him
back.
too much wrong.
There we go. But it's true. It's why the marketing conversation is important, because marketing is really about just reaching a community, reaching an audience of people, right? Like that space that you kind of keep in the mind of your consumer or the person or your customer. And it happens on so many different levels, right? So many different that like you said, Stu, the real estate of the mind, right? The real estate of the mind. When I talk to people in real estate specifically, I say that's one of the biggest things that you have to know in the marketing space is like, we all know a real estate agent. We all have one in our network. But the question is, when I'm ready to buy or sell a home, who do I think of? Right?
That is the difference.
That's the difference. That's literally it. And that's that real estate of the mind, right? It's like we all know one, but who do we think of? Who holds that real estate in your mind? And that's why the marketing conversation is important.
Very, very right on line with
That was well put. Yeah. That was well put. And that's consistently what I see. That is the difference in a real estate game. That's the difference. And if you're not willing to play that game, then you should get out ASAP. Yeah. Right? And I can speak to that personally. I became very, very clear that that's not the game that I wanted to play as an agent, where you are first and foremost a public servant. You are like, you're going out there to serve. And meaning, for me, when I say the type of servant I don't want is where you are literally like, in my opinion, on your knees, like just grappling, right? It can get really grimy, is what I'm saying. It can get really to the point where it's like, I don't know, man. These people, like, they seem really nice when you got a house to sell, and then you give them a call, 2 or 3, hey, you got another? No, you don't. Okay, bye. All right. So yeah, I think, yeah.
This reminds me of like a really like that whole grimy kind of feeling reminds me of like really, really salesy, persuasive type, business owners that are like, everybody's got to self-promote, and I think there's a line between, and really only the person providing the service knows when it's going to be a good fit for the person that's about to invest in the service or buy the house or take on that coach. Only you really know that. Shout out Tope. So really, I was actually introduced to this by Vesna, who
let's go Ghana.
oh no, it started. Oh God.
We're gonna have to explain that later. We got a Nigerian brother on the line.
This is like the 2-decade rivalry of like my Nigerian. Oh no, just kidding. But yeah, long story short, like I was introduced by Vesna, who just tuned in on Insta, to this idea of like you can either be like a hunter or a gatherer when it comes to putting yourself out there. And I thought that was a really, really cool way of looking at it. Like you can either be the one going out and reaching, or you can be the one building a brand and having people that are attracted to that. And of course, there's time and place. You can certainly go between both roles, sure. But you can be a grimy hunter. It's a thing. Mm-hmm. They're out there. And I think, it's tough because really you don't know if you're on the receiving end and you're trying to figure out a service. Like a lot of people are very good persuaders. You really have to kind of dial in, go with your gut, make a as informed decision as possible, which Chris has helped me touch base with here on a couple of financial ones. So yeah, it's the hunter-gatherer thing. Had you guys heard that before?
Yeah, I think that's a great one.
Yeah, that was a nice way of looking at it.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. Jim Rohn speaks to this about how he built his empire, if you will. He said he decided to become a gatherer, which is, very, very, he explained it in the sense of, listen, I don't necessarily mind if you spend money with me right now, but I want you in my network, on my pinwheel, I think pinwheel, whatever the word is. And eventually I'm going to continue to provide you value so that eventually when I put something out for sale, you will be inclined to buy.
Absolutely. Jab, 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 right hook from Gary Vee. Right? It's just,
I got that book.
Yeah. Because it's the same process. It's give value, right? Like you don't have to buy from me right now. I'm just going to continue to add value. And then at some point down the line, I will probably have something that you could purchase or something that you could support me on. and I'm going to throw the right hook because I've given value. So now I can ask, right? It doesn't mean you have to buy. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but now I have the right to ask. I'm not just hunting, right? So to speak, right? I'm not just going in and asking and asking and asking and asking and going for the kill over and over again. So definitely a tactic, definitely something that works. I'm a big believer in it, giving up front, right? And then you receive it on the back end too. So
yeah, building up the KLT factor, which surprised me that as many people don't know about the KLT factor. So for those of you guys that don't know,
what is that?
The KLT, look at that, perfect. All right, so KLT factor, know, like, and trust in your audience.
Oh,
So know, like, the actual exposure, like something resonates with you about the brand or about the individual behind it, and then the trust, which can often be gained by putting out free value, by having those jabs. So absolutely, man. Yeah, putting it out like free first, and then just letting people kind of be like, oh, this guy, oh, kind of knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I could see myself maybe investing in this. That's all you need. That seed planted.
that's it.
Yep.
Because that seed takes up space. The more it gets watered, it takes up that space in people's mind, right? So once you get, that's why the marketing conversation is always important for business owners or people getting started in business, to know that it's not one thing in your marketing that's going to do it. One thing might plant the seed, but then it's going to take more and more and more for it to actually hit them, so that actually gets watered. A lot of times we think it's just the one thing in our marketing, right? And the reason we got to this conversation even is because, right, Stu, you just picked up, a new form of marketing, or like we started going down that path of talking about the different types of marketing. There we go. In the brochure, there he is, right? Like, and that's going out to 50,000 people, right? It's going to be going to get the reach of 50,000. And so when you start thinking about it, Stu could be like, that's going to do it. It was everything. I owe my whole business to this ad, right? Like I owe all of it to just this mailer. But it doesn't really happen that way. Mm-hmm. You might get some great leads and you might say, man, that was a good investment. But typically, that's just where they saw your face once or twice, right? They might not call from that. But if you followed up with another one, and then followed up with another one, then they happen to see your mug on a billboard, right? Then it's setting in, because you're watering that seed that was planted and you're taking up more space, because naturally we're getting hit with so many different things that it's like, if I see you once, okay, I know that's what you do, but like I'll forget very quickly because I have so many other things. So we have to be conscious of watering that seed for them so that we take up more of that room. So that when people think about you, when they think about that thing, your topic, they think about you, right? It's a process to it.
For sure. So do you guys consider yourselves like leaning more hunter, more gatherer? A little bit of both, maybe?
I think there's time and place for both, but definitely more of a gatherer, right? Definitely more of a, let's cultivate this, let's nurture this, like let's build this out, because I don't need your transaction right now, right? And I'm not in a business that is just transaction business, right? Yep. Some people that are listening, they might be in a transaction business. Like you have a Robert Kiyosaki, you have Velcro wallets. You need to sell Velcro wallets. That was Robert Kiyosaki's first business. He's like the inventor of the like Velcro wallet.
Is it really?
Yeah, like the kid's wallet that we all used to use as a kid, like that had the Velcro on it to open it up.
Oh yeah.
That was Robert Kiyosaki doing that. He was selling
Tasmanian Devil, Warner Brothers. Yeah. That was it for me.
I had a Ninja Turtle, everything, but Ninja Turtles. Where it's
favorite Ninja Turtle?
Donatello.
Leonardo.
Yeah, Donatello had the brains, man. He was a good guy.
Anyway. The other one?
Michelangelo, Raphael.
There we go. One of those two. One of those guys.
One of those guys. But yeah, I kind of forgot where we left off on that one. But the business, right? Like
transactional
just transactional business.
Yeah.
sometimes that could be your business. So it is about transaction. You should be a hunter. Robert Kiyosaki probably wasn't building a brand at that time. He was transacting to sell a bunch of units, right? A bunch of items. So, to each his own, but the businesses that we're in, or anybody that's listening that's in a people business or a coaching business, it's always going to be gather. It's always going to be the right answer, right? Because they, like you said, Stu, the KLT, right? Like they have to know you, they have to like you, they have to trust you in order for them to be open and vulnerable to allow you to coach them or transform them or mentor them, right? Like that's what's required. So we can't be transactional in it. We have to be gatherers.
I'm really glad you touched on that piece of like that open and vulnerable, because it is such an intimate thing to be. I mean, all three of us do it in different really niches, but it's such an intimate thing to be working really within somebody's mind, So like that trust absolutely has to be there, and that's why that's why to me, when it comes to coaching, like I would much rather stay on the gatherer side all day. I've gotten a lot of pressure. It's funny, you get a lot of pressure from all different types of people who are trying to help you grow your business when you start to really get after as a hunter. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I really want this to be an attraction type deal.
I think that's a good point. And I appreciate, Chris, what you said in the beginning. There is a time, you gathering, is you ever going to eat? Right?
Yeah, that's the jab, right hook, right? You got to throw the right hook eventually.
Bam. Exactly. So, there's more jabs than hooks. So I think it's all very good. Thank you.
But that's the nature of the beast, man. You got to be able, and sometimes people do get stuck at throwing the right hook, right? Sometimes people jab too much, and they don't come back. They don't come back around to get the right hook. Like,
Yeah.
I've probably been guilty of that for some parts of my business, just jabbing all the way, just adding a bunch of value, and then getting to a place financially like probably need to sell something sometimes.
I guess you got to make some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Probably got to sell something here. But I think those are the ebbs and flows of business, and when you start to balance out the sales and marketing, the hunter-gatherer conversation, you lean more towards cultivating and gathering, and there's a time to hunt, right? Like there's a time to just go after that stuff. So it's different for everybody's business, though, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'll say this, is piggyback real quick. I feel the need to speak something nice from real estate agents here for a second. I think it's definitely cream does rise to the top for sure. Like agents that are big for a reason. Don't get it. Don't let me just give up my praise and whatnot, because there's a really good agent can save you a lot of money transactions on a deal, but so can a really good lawyer, right? But a really good agent, to me, is one that can really manage relationships and their personal time and how they're jabbing really well, and also deliver on the back end. And it's rare, honestly. It's tough to really do that consistently. Speaking of an industry where you're jabbing and can't look, if you want to feel like you're jabbing forever, be a commercial real estate agent. That's
that is so true. It's funny, but it's super true. Like those commercial deals, just they take so much time that you are jabbing for years, sometimes years.
Yeah.
Like it's not man. That's spot on, man. That's spot on.
And that's the truth. Patience, young grasshopper. Wanted to chat with you guys a little bit too about kind of like what can you always be a gatherer, right? So let's say, what if your businesses, are there some businesses that's just not possible? Is there some businesses that are so transactional, or that's really what we care about? And, like I don't know, selling bracelets to visitors in Ecuador or something. I don't know, right? What are you jabbing? Like you gonna build an Instagram page and actually, hey, if you're selling bracelets in Ecuador, this might be a good move. Chris goes, I'm trying to tell you.
Credit, cut the noise, cut them in 10%.
I share with my brothers, bro. Cut us in 12%. We each get a piece.
There you go. You already upped it. Time's wasted.
Go.
So I personally am trying to build the just gathering type thing. So I'll let you know how it goes. Because
Yeah.
I absolutely love when someone approaches you because they've gotten to know so much about you. It's such a pure thing where it's completely devoid of any type of persuasion. Now, I'm not saying that any type of persuasion or selling or hunting is inherently wrong. I'm just saying that that's my particular preference. Yeah, the Prosperous Coach, good shout out on that one, bro, is very much against what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. If you're a hunter, you are up and you are moving and you are seeking. You are moving around. I hesitate to say find your prey, but to go with the analogy, you're moving around, like you're actively seeking. To be a gatherer, you have to understand that it's going to take more time. It is a more passive approach that hopefully will build trust over time to the point where you eventually get a following and you receive a couple of DMs or whatever the case may be, and very organically conversations arise. So I don't know. I think I've interestingly enough played with hunting from time to time. Doesn't really work for me. So I'm curious, what do you guys think?
I follow you exactly, Steve. Like what you're saying is there's a lot of people, and I've been there too, that just hard selling, hard closing is not it doesn't feel good, right? Like it just doesn't feel the right way. And that's what we get away from is like, I don't want to feel like I have to do that. And that's where the gathering side really comes in. And I believe in your vision. Like I believe that like that can be the case, that you can build a full-on community, a full-on following of people, show and be as transparent as possible so people feel super open and comfortable to come talk to you. I think actually that's a way to go about it. I would still say though that there's going to be some form of hunting, right? Or some form of like selling that needs to happen, even if it's towards the back end.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that goes to our point before. And I think ultimately comes back to, I think you need both, right? When what you've been setting up for so long, when it's time to execute, are you prepared and ready to execute? Another book that kind of hits on this a little bit for me was Spin Selling. And it kind of reminds me that, it does matter how everybody needs to jab and everybody needs to ride hook or be direct or whatever you want to call it. But I think it matters where you are, where your business is, who your audience is, and that stuff as to how much of each, what is your ratio. So let's say you're selling, a $200,000 software to a small business, right? That might take some time. You got to jab for a little bit. They got to know if you're right there. It's got to go through a lot of hoops. It's got to go through a lot of people who have to make decisions. So, but if you're selling a $29.99 product in the, right at the checkout line where they try to get our kids, you might not need a jab for so long, or maybe you have. But I think it matters in terms of what the product is, who the audience is, and what is the size, what is the commitment that you're asking for.
Yeah, where your audience is key, man. Like each platform operates so differently. It's like we were just talking about social media. like every platform has different ways to play with hunting and gathering. I think social media is really cool because you can kind of do both. I mean, you can hunt by promoting your post, by like putting an offer out there, having advertisements, all kinds of stuff. But I think where the real power of social media lies is in the gathering. Um, and I think I don't know. There's a lot there, but I think being aware of like what the dynamic is in the platform, because if everybody's doing one thing and you're doing something different, it can be good. But if you're doing a whole bunch of hunting and a whole bunch of right hooks when everybody else is over here building a following, it's just something to be aware of.
Yep.
What's the feel of the room?
You got to be native to the platform. That's what it is, right? Too often people jump to other platforms, and then all of a sudden they're not speaking that language anymore, right? And so people don't resonate with their stuff. But you got to read the room, just like Stu said. Got to read the room, even on these social platforms. It's important.
Yeah. So just real quick, I mean, I would love to break down like kind of a brainstorm a little bit on a specific example of, whether it's in our business individually or maybe a new idea that you've thought about but you haven't used. How might you go about it in terms of using creative marketing to get the word out and to start to build real estate and to job and provide value, right? I come up with a product or we can do something specifically in our businesses. What do you guys think?
You can come up with a product unless you want to talk about your business, or Stu, if you want to talk about yours.
Are we about to like brainstorm a good life product right now?
Yeah. Well, let's say
that.
this. Let's do it for the good life, right?
Yeah.
As a collective here, right? We've been jabbing for quite a while now, coming on here, providing good value. And obviously, people are getting to know us individually, but let's say the good life starts, I don't know, doing like, speaking tours or something.
Woo!
Virtual, let's call it virtual speaking tours, where we do a full day program on all the things that we're about, right? You get a little money here, a little mental touch here, a little health here, a little love here. You come through, everybody speaks, we do breakout activities or whatever. What does that look like? And let's say that's the product.
Sure. It's a great product, by the way. I'm down. Let's go. So we got some love.
Get some shirts out, what I'm saying? A little follow the money shirt.
Start the merch. Let's get it going. But yes, strategic marketing, right? Like always end in mind when you start marketing, well, who is following the good life? Who is paying attention? Who would benefit the most from the value that we're giving, right? And once we kind of decide that, then we can know how to start marketing, because we just find out where those people are, right? If we narrow down a particular demographic or psychographic and say like, okay, like these are people that really want the good life. They're following, they're paying attention. And from there we can start to see, okay, well, where do they sit? And then we start marketing around those places.
Yeah. We actually just got a great brainstorming tip from Vesna. We could do speaking tips, like 1 to 3 minutes on TikTok, Chris, that you're the expert on TikTok out of the three of us, and use popular hashtags to build the audience. Absolutely. Like really.
Wait, say that again. Run that by me again.
Do like provide different types of like speaking, like public speaking or in front of the camera type tips, and like have like little reels for Instagram or like a TikTok dance with it, little elbow to the side or something, maybe a little jab hook. TikTok's not for me, clearly.
No, hey, but real quick to like, it's a great moment to kind of talk about the nuance of TikTok. You don't have to dance on TikTok to go like viral.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a requirement.
I thought it was a requirement.
I thought you had to sign something saying you will fucking dance.
Dead serious. Like there's people that have grown real businesses like that haven't danced anything, like haven't done one dance move on TikTok. Like it's just another platform, right? Remember, Instagram used to be only for pictures. Remember that, right? I'm not on Instagram because I don't have pictures.
I'm not a photographer.
Yeah. Okay. That's not what Instagram is, right? Like it evolved.
Yeah.
Right. LinkedIn, right? I don't have I'm not looking for a job, resume, no, it's not that at all. It's like Facebook 10 years ago, right? It's actually like a real platform just for business people. So like these platforms evolve, but we don't stay on top of marketing. We don't stay on top of it, right? And that's what starts to happen. Like whoever put that idea out, thank you for that idea, because that's perfect.
Great idea.
It's an amazing idea, right? If we did do 1 minute 45 seconds speaking type of things for TikTok and created that, absolutely, there's tons. There's tons that we can do. So thank you for that, Vesna. Like that was dope. And yes,
for sure.
They said right. There's lots of businesses and professional things. Trust me, I've been following the financial literacy movement on TikTok. Like I know, I see what's happening and where everyone's consuming information. It started off with the dance and stuff, but
I do have a question.
Shoot.
Are you dancing on TikTok?
I have not yet danced on TikTok. No, I take that back. I probably have danced maybe once or twice, but simple stuff and not like I'm not a dancer. Like
curiosity is going to have me get a TikTok.
Yeah, you can go find it. It's out there. It's out there at CMuzon everywhere. So you can go find me. I'll put it up. So.
I got created a TikTok, scrolled, did my little login, then took me about 3 days just to create my little login, then finally logged in, scrolled for about 30 seconds and closed the app and haven't opened it again. I was so overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed?
I was so overwhelmed, dude.
That is a great say. Like just a description. Overwhelmed.
Yeah, the entire thing. I'm just like, why are there so many buttons? What is going, bruh? This was the first time where I was like, I mentally apologized to all adults that I've ever made fun of. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry, Mom, for making fun of you in front of the computer. Never in my life have I looked at something and be like, nah. Not only am I overwhelmed, but I have very low energy to pursue like whether or not I'm gonna get better at this. All right, so I put it aside, and we'll pick it back up here pretty soon, as you guys are making a good case for it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Stu, we got to film your first intro onto TikTok. I'm telling you, I'm one, overwhelmed, and two,
that sounds fun. That sounds very fun.
Let's do it. I understand people who, it was too much for me. I understand people who get addicted to it as well, because I was like, wait, what? Flip, new person doing some dance? What?
It's so fast. Like it's easy to get you wrapped up in it, just like Reels.
It's kids in a candy shop. It's a mouse in the whatever with the lever, right? That releases heroin. Yeah. It's what it is. What it is. Endorphin, dopamine.
Yep. I think I have like a title idea for this episode, like the TikTok heroin or something like that.
It gets people though. Like again, they know what they're doing by creating it in that manner, but it's tough, right? Like it's tough to not be there. Just learning how to manage it, right? Learning how to use it the proper ways, break away when needed, not get controlled, not get into the mindless scroll, the mindless thumb scroll, right? How to be aware of those types of things, because it's easy for us to do it, but just to be like, all right, I've been doing it, I got to stop. Like, let me pay attention to this. What have I? Maybe, and like I said, I think I said this in our pregame, but like not everyone has that place to just like check themselves constantly. I'm always in that place of just checking myself constantly, right? Just like even on a time basis thing, like 30 minutes goes by, like what I do the last 30 minutes? Like, damn, it's already 30 minutes. Have I just been looking at this for 30 minutes? Like I'll literally check myself in the midst of doing things, and then I'll stop. right? And I don't know that everyone has that, because people can go hours and just keep scrolling and then like pick their head up like, oh shit, how long has it been? Like, what? How'd
Yeah.
that happen?
Yeah.
Right? And I don't have that, but I think it is something that people have to be aware of when they start getting into this.
For sure. Yo, this was a very big challenge for me when I first started really getting involved in social media for my business. Because before that, I did not like social media. It's like, look, I've got my reality. I don't need to be focusing on all the other realities right now. Like a shout out Rick and Morty, like a Rick and Morty like theme into all these different people's worlds. Like I don't need this. Like it's all it has the potential to do before I was growing my business was draw up comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
My life to theirs. So it's something that actually like I really had to like work through. Every once in a while, I do have to catch myself because it's easy to get sucked in, especially like when you like the three of us are also trying to learn the platform, so we can understand like how to better use the platform. So we're like really focused on it, just getting all that good heroin, just having a great time. So yeah, it's funny. Vesna, thank you so much for the tip earlier, because with the public speaking thing, I actually had a client earlier today that has like this whole idea for like a YouTube channel and putting himself out there as like as a writer and all kinds of different things. And his entire, not his entire, but a lot of the session was focused on what will people think of me, that fear of judgment, which is, when we talk about branding and marketing, like when you start to put yourself out there and self promote, you have to come to terms with who you are, and the fact that you are not perfect and you're putting yourself up there, especially from like coaching perspectives like us. Like there's no coach out there that has it all figured out, guys. We're all people too. Like there's no perfection. So you have to become accepting of things about yourself, because if you don't and you put yourself out there, you leave yourself vulnerable for haters coming at you, or trolls, or just people just grossly misunderestimating you, or just taking you and putting you in this little box over here and saying stuff about you. So when it comes to branding and marketing, like there's a lot of like inner work that's a big part of that, man. So I think it's cool that you brought up that public speaking, because focusing on just being yourself, 100% the key. You even touched on authenticity earlier, Chris. It is like it's just a lifelong gathering, trust building thing. When you're just yourself, you never have to fake it. So
That's it, man.
I think we can go a bit deeper into a lot of what you just said, bro. It was resonating with me quite a bit, and I think it's incredibly important because it's actually something very similar to what happens in non-offline life, right? Real life, and it's required there too. But I think when you are public, when you are putting out content, that's heightened to a whole new level, right? Where people feel like they either have a right to you and everything about you and your life, or that they actually already know everything about you and your life,
yeah,
and all your thoughts and
all it took
opinions
was
and
3 seconds.
Right? Right. So I think it's very important because it's probably something that leads to the burnout you see in individuals that try to do this and individuals that do this. Is that mental piece of it. People will say stuff. Trolls will troll you. You could be perfect and they'll still troll you. Right? You could be top of your game and people will still misinterpret you. Right? And I'll share personally, I've been facing this quite a bit. Obviously, as in it's very heated time. And I happen to live my life in such a way that a lot of folks may not agree with my health choices and what I do with my body and my health, right? And we're in a season now where everybody feels is in such a heightened state of fear that it's turning into something, quite frankly, in my opinion, that's very ugly, and that it's going to get worse before it gets better, because there's no longer consideration for truth. There's no longer consideration for true health. There's no longer consideration for any of that stuff. And me, I for some reason just can't sit there and just let it all go. I just feel like I have this thing that I want to give, right? I've always wanted to make a contribution to society, and when I realized that chasing money necessarily wasn't going to do that alone. Let me rephrase it: chase money alone. I am rich. I will continue to be rich. Don't get it twisted. However, that doesn't check all of the boxes of what it means for me to be human on this earth and what I was brought here to do in terms of purpose. So, in kind of seeking purpose and looking at what is my contribution, what do I want to give out, and you look at this and say, man, this is the base of everything. I see people who have everything. What car can they not buy? What restaurant can they not eat at? What place can they not go? What thing can they not have? But what's missing is something they can't just purchase, because they've seen the doctors, they've seen the surgeons, they've seen the experts, they've seen all that stuff, and they still can't purchase true health. They still struggle day to day, and they may mask it with all, struggle and comfort as much as possible. But it's out there, and I see it real. But if you're going to speak on things that it appears like the majority does not agree on, or even if they agree and you have an opinion, prepare yourself to get pushback. And I will take all tips because
tips
we are on really, and I have to be a bit careful here how I speak, but on really how one is authentic when you're so public facing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you could probably stop right there, right? How is one, because authentic implies, we can look up the definition, I guess, but implies that you are true to yourself, right? I feel like very few people have accomplished that in the public eye.
Yeah.
As much as they'll allow the public to know, right? There's some people that won't be as authentic for every area of their life, but they're right? Like they won't be transparent with every area of their life, but they can still show up authentically in the areas that they're speaking on or that they're dealing in, and those types of things. But I think one of the biggest things that you might have said could be is how to navigate that is also not getting too high on the highs, not getting too low on the lows of like what people say, like not really valuing, like if you're valuing the praise, then you would value the boos as well. And it's really just not paying attention to either one, showing up authentically and being your authentic self and talking in your authentic manner. It's just about being comfortable with you and you starting to understand that, like, I had to learn this getting into doing content. 50% of people will like me and 50% of people will not like me, just by how I speak or just by something that I've said. I've learned to like just bring that to a realization that like not everybody needs to like me. Not everyone will like me. Some people, but here's the thing to note: most people don't know me. The people that actually do know me, they all like me. That's the difference, right? So like it wouldn't matter to me if somebody gets a 2-minute clip or something like that, or a 30-second clip, and then has judgment or says some things. Like, you don't know me. You actually don't know anything about me, right? Like it's just what it comes down to. And so I'll learn that, some people won't like what I say, some people will. Some people won't like how I said things, some people will. And when I could just kind of set it aside that like it doesn't actually matter kind of what they say, you get a little bit more comfortable being authentic in those areas.
Yeah. I thought that was such an interesting number you pulled out there. 50% will, 50% won't. I mean, it's when you say it like that, man, it's so cut and dry and just like it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Just flip a coin. Flip a coin. There's not a whole lot of control I have over it. I'm just gonna speak my voice, etc. Now, Vesna actually mentioned here a little while back that her accent would be the reason why she doesn't want to do videos on social media. And Vesna, I'll say this: like a lot of different people on social media have accents. I think you have a fine accent. I think it's everybody has a certain thing that they may feel insecure about. But I think to kind of Chris's point here, 50-50. Some will like it, some won't. They won't, fine. They can go somewhere else.
You'll give somebody else courage that has the same accent as you to actually put themselves out there because you did it. Those are the people that you're talking to, versus the other side of people that will be like, I can't understand what you're saying, and they won't listen.
Big facts.
It's just the way it goes, right? Like it's just it, right? But you have to focus more on that impact. That like you could set a bunch of people free that have accents that really want to do something like that, and they don't have the courage to. You can give them that courage just by doing it. So it's all about how you look at it.
And to your point, Chris, I think it's the other side of this for me has been that I have cultivated a better community, right? Of individuals that I do actually want to be around, of individuals that do give me energy. And I'll say a lot of it has been me being outspoken and being authentic in sharing my opinions as it comes to living a healthy lifestyle that we don't need a break from, and one that fulfills us and is a life of purpose. And from that, I'll say this, like a lot of people love your accent. All right. A lot of people love the stuff that you post. A lot of people love the corny jokes that you make. Right? A lot of people love the dad jokes.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people love that stuff, and it may take some time, but you will find your folks. And guess what? For me, what I'm relearning is that you actually don't need that many folks.
That's right.
You actually don't need that many, and you can fulfill in a lot of things, both personally, community, and business as well.
It's huge, man. It's huge. I don't think enough people realize what you just said is actually the case. Like you can win with not a lot of people. You can win the game, whatever game you're playing, the financial game, the business game, right? The relationship game, whatever it is, like with a smaller amount of people than you think. Right? Like it's just true. It's just true. So you don't need everyone to like you. Right? I think I heard Vesna say that. And you're welcome for the encouragement, right?
And thank you for the engagement.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep. Love the question and engagement. Thanks everybody.
Yeah.
This is big. This is big. Appreciate. Hey, the other thing I wanted to run by you guys again is for in terms of breaking down specific examples. We got like a few minutes here. Might as well dive in, right?
Sure.
I want to get my curriculum into two audiences. Well, maybe more, but one. Young folks, we still have plenty of time to make changes and implement different lifestyle, so they don't face a lot of the issues that we face when we get older. And then institutions. So all institutions, groups, institutions, anybody that has employees or church members or whatnot that are trying to dive in. Church was one of the big ones that I thought about. Like a startup environment, because I used to work in one. That's what I'm familiar with. And also school environment, like high school, because that's another environment that I worked in. And I think there's a lot of individuals in those environments that could utilize simple courses that teach really what I call the 7 principles of health. And I think it's so critical. So let's brainstorm to make that happen in 7 minutes or less.
Still,
So specifically, we're brainstorming on how to get dialed in and connected with and serving not only the youth and older adults, but also just institutions.
Got it. So we can be more specific. Let's say schools, churches, and medium to small startups.
After school programs where that are
That's a
not
girl.
fully dependent and tied into the system, where there's parental choice, and then eventually you get enough parents on board, etc. And that's when you're able to implement it perhaps in more of a institutionalized method because you get the buy-in from the community, and now there's pressure on the school boards like, hey, you like what this guy's doing, you want more of this.
I like that. After school programs.
After school good life program, question mark.
hey, we got all we got all types of ideas here. That's a good one. Yeah, after school programs, going towards the small to medium startups. To me, that's just good old hand to hand combat marketing, right? You got to get into a few of them, right? You gotta tailor it directly to them so that they feel it, right? That they know that this is specifically for them. So doing demos, creating allegiances, again, adding value where it's like, listen, I'll come do this for you guys. Back in the financial space, I used to do lunch and learns. I'll provide the lunch, right? You just sit around, eat my lunch, and listen to me talk to you about money, right? Like it's a lunch and learn. I pay for the lunch anyway. Your people want to eat. So that's one way to start to get around. And you might have one person that gets on board. You might have nobody, but at least you're getting your reps up to start to know how to talk about what you're doing and getting it in front of more eyeballs. So that's a similar way to go about it, right? Is there a way to connect with small to medium startups to find out what exactly they need to curate their space, something that they're missing, right? Some place to add value, and then just ask a lot of them, right? Just a bunch of them to add that value. Yeah, that's on the institution side. On the school side, or on the churches side, also very very similar, right? I'm sure Dave Ramsey gave a bunch of presentations in churches before it all got implemented, right? Like you just gotta go to the church and be like, hey, this is what we see. This is a class that would help, right? How can I add value to a Sunday, a Wednesday, or whatever that is, and do that to it for a bunch of churches, so then it spreads, right? It's kind of, and I think you already knew that, man. It's case study. It's just right. The honestly, the plan that you would have for the 16 and under, 17 and under, whatever that age is, kid, and the plan you would have for the 24-year-old startup employee, and the plan you would have, or the curriculum you would have for the church members, probably are going to all be different anyway. They might all have some similarities, but they're probably all going to be different to a degree. So that means you have to market them differently. And so hand to hand, I think hand to hand in for that specific question, I think would be the best way to go about it from a marketing standpoint.
I think it's well said. You go right to them.
Woo wee! Some good stuff, fellas. That's some good stuff.
That's it.
I like the idea of demos. Very very comfortable with that. Did that a long time. So I started doing some demos for myself. There's actually got started here on this a bit and looking at high rise condos that are struggling and offering something additional to their residents through the service, doing a demo, rather than that. So we'll see how that route goes. I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, that's a fire fucking idea you got there, bro.
That'd be dope.
Got gems right there.
There you go.
Yep.
They got bread.
Yeah.
That's it, right? And those are, you go to where the people are. You figure out your market. You go to where the people are, and you make it a win-win. That's what marketing has to be. It has to be a win-win. Somebody saying, "Yeah, that's what I want," and you being like, "Yeah, I'm the person to provide it." Win-win. Win-win.
For sure. And Vesna, when we had lunch the other day, was talking about a bunch of different ideas. And one of them was meetup groups, using that app Meetup Group, free, total
That's a
offer.
great one.
I'm going to be diving in on that one here real soon because
Mm.
it's just so easy. Like, just show up and just be like, hey, like, what are y'all's questions? Like, I literally want you to use me right now, free of charge. You get some value. You tell your friends, you like it, awesome. Come on back, bring somebody, and just such an organic way to also get out of our house because all of us are like super virtual for the most part. Could be probably you the least, but it's just a different way
Oh
of
no,
getting
I'm
out
super
there.
virtual.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, if I didn't do what I did, I would be inside all the time. In terms of like what my work requires, most of my work is right with a computer. So
oh
I have to really consciously think about. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
oh no. What I was going to say is, given the nature of your business with the physical engagement,
Ah, yeah. The
naturally you
nature
have
of
a
the
high.
business helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, chose it for that reason too. Choose something that fits the lifestyle you want to live.
Yeah. That,
Um, Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that one piece of content you had where you were where there was a gentleman on the floor and you were doing some type of like massage
Oh
or
yeah,
muscle activation thing.
yeah.
That was fire, man.
Shiatsu energy massage. Yeah, that's
Shiatsu
dope. Thanks,
energy
man.
massage. Word.
Shiatsu.
Shiatsu.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things I picked up this year. You know,
There we go.
shoot, man, gotta be nice. Quick, man. I'll propose if we can somehow figure this out. I think there's some. I think it's like literally could be a boring list, but probably done pretty exciting of like all of the things we just taught out in terms of like marketing ideas. And let's toss that out to folks that might want that piece of paper. Might be helpful to some folks for sure.
I like
Maybe
it.
we'll pull that from this video.
I like
Yeah.
that. Good call.
That's a good call. Let's do it. So
Just
We
giving,
could,
man. Just giving.
while we're on
Take
that
it, take it.
topic, yes. While we're on that topic, we could absolutely do some of those like free downloadable like PDF type stuff. Like, hey, you're interested in the good life? Like, here's some common principles from the three of us. Here's some joint things. Here's like this other supplemental stuff, and just put it up there. Maybe make a page for the good life on Instagram. So,
maybe. There we go. We can figure that out.
Yeah.
Figure that out. But as long as for all of you that are listening and watching, right? As long as you're getting value, that's what matters, right? And yes, we'll find more ways to add value. We'll find more ways to give it to you. But like the fact that you show up to have these thoughtful conversations and dive deeper into all these topics says everything, right? This is what says everything. So yeah, let you know if there is something or if you are getting value, right? Let us know, right? Like send us a message, DM us, let us know, and because that's the mission, that's the goal, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'll say, ask the group, man, because I'll say real quick, what format would it look good in? Would you guys prefer it? Right? Something written, something just posted. I'd love to get that feedback. That'd be great.
That would be sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know how you prefer to learn. We're doing it all audio, visual right now, actually, but let us know how you prefer to learn, so we can get you more and more value on later episodes. So, guys, it's been another good night. Excited to have these conversations. I think we scratched the surface of some good stuff, and we're gonna keep going deeper as well. But that's all we got for the night. You guys want to sign off? We're signing off this week of another episode of The Good Life. So until next week, guys, keep living the good life.
This is the good life.
Take care, guys.
I need that T-Pain auto-tune. Peace.